Honorable Chair, before I say anything, I want to use this opportunity to pay glowing tribute to our late minister, Honorable Dr. Alhaji Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, who fell out in the course of duty in safeguarding this environment alongside Dr. Omani Boama, Honorable Limuna, my own brother-in-law, Wing Commander Peter Anala, and other distinguished gentlemen who were fighting to protect this environment. I also want to apologize sincerely for the absence of my beloved CEO, Professor Nanama Brown-Kluche, who is currently on a national assignment. On behalf of the board and management of EPA, I want to fervently thank the auditors for bringing out these infractions and to thank you for giving us audience. Thank you so much.
May their souls continue to rest with the Lord. Honorable Mutala was a member of this committee, and he would drill me anytime I come. I sit here, he's sitting somewhere here, and it's not easy, but we can't explain why. We don't know why. But as they say, we'll leave it for God. And so, yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Now back to the substantive issue of our rule. According to Section 2ABCD of the Environmental Protection Act 2025, Act 1124, our main objective is to regulate, protect, coordinate, and exercise general oversight over issues regarding regulating climate change and the environment. And in so doing, we charge levies to give permits, to inspect, to monitor, and check for compliance. So these are some of the sources of revenue for the Environmental Protection Authority, among several others. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So there was some gain, or he said exchange operating income, meaning the forex that came in that you translated into Ghana cedis. Is that it?
Madam Chair, the exchange operation income is basically a term from the IFSAS. That is a term that IFSAS requires that they.
So a term that's okay. You are also now.
That is the core fees or core income that the.
Okay, so the auditors, there are some accounts that you treat fully with the IFSAS whatever, and then there are others that you just. So let there be some consistency moving forward, so that we know that this is how things are being treated. Okay, thank you. And then what constitutes your finance income, please?
It's from interest on investment.
What kind of investment do you have that it gives you 1.9 million Ghana cedis a year, a government entity?
I think the finance, where's our finance, called Dominic to come and answer. The finance officer here. Dominic.
Please, have you been sworn in? Please, have you been sworn in?
Honorable Chair, yes. My name is Dominic Pei, and I'm an accountant at the EPA. Honorable Chair, the investments that we have are concerned with short-term investments.
I said, what type of investment do you have that gives you 1.9 million in interest?
They are treasury bills.
Okay.
So, shame on you. So, sir, T-bills. Then what is your quantum of investment? I'm surprised that you have monies enough to invest. Yet, yes. What kind of investment? What is the quantum of that money that gave you 1.9 million in finance income?
As of 2023, it was about 28 million.
It was about
28 million.
28 million.
Yes.
So is that government of Ghana funds or it is EPA funds or how do you classify it?
They are internally generated funds.
Internally generated funds?
Yes, please.
And do you have 100% retention?
Yes, please.
You have 100% retention?
Yes, we do.
So you choose to put it in a bank?
They are reserves. When we get reserves, we get surplus. We don't leave it idle. We choose to buy government treasury bills with it.
You said they are reserves, but in 2023, you made a deficit. You made a loss of 13.7 million.
That is the income statement for the year.
Yes.
But the investment is concerned with previous years' reserves. Previous years, we had been making surpluses in previous years. For instance, in 2022, we made a surplus of 2.1.
2.1 million?
Yes, please.
Uh-huh. And then the year before that, how much did you make?
The year before that, we made a surplus of about the same quantum, 2.1. But it had been continuing, accumulating, yes, for the previous years.
But you are not doing something right, too. Did you see that your current ratio reduced from 7.9 to 1 to 2.7 to 1?
Honorable Chair, that is true. And the reason for that reduction was an exceptional event that happened in 2023. One, because we went for a loan, a facility to acquire vehicles that helped us in our operations. So the interest on that was paid within that year. And moreover, because the vehicles were acquired new and we had to charge depreciation within that very year, the depreciation was added to our administrative fund, administrative expenses. And
how many vehicles did you buy?
We bought 45 vehicles.
Wow. At a go?
Yes, Honorable.
45 vehicles.
Yes, Honorable Chair. And that boosted our revenue. If you look at it, our revenue increased so much within that year, and it has continued to increase. In 2024, it increased. In 2025, it is increasing. And let me put it on notice that in 2024, we went ahead to pay off that deficit and made a profit of a surplus of 21 million in 2024, and this year to increase.
So it should improve your current ratio, your current position of your current ratio. Okay. I think on the whole it's fine, but you see, anytime you see them, you see public boards make some revenue, you see a huge jump in their administrative expenses. You made a revenue of 23.8%, and we saw a jump to 25.7% in your administrative expenses. Why do you do that? The fact that you make more revenue does not mean you should spend more.
Honorable Chair, that is true. But the operations of EPA is such that our revenue generation is directly correlated with our monitoring, compliance monitoring and enforcement. So the more we do compliance monitoring and enforcement, the more our revenue. And that also increases our expenditure. But what we are doing now is that we have put measures in place that the increase in our revenue will be more than the rate of increase in our expenditure. so that we'll be fine.
Yeah, that is what I was going to propose, but you have seen the light, because you can't spend more than what you raise.
Yes.
Then where is there? There's no need. You don't save for a rainy day. I mean, tomorrow you need something more, and then you need to go into your savings and take some money. So let's note this and not spend more than we raise in one financial year.
Well noted.
And then I think we've spoken about your financial position. So you've promised us that you are going to work on it to make sure you raise more revenue. And this time when you raise revenue, you not let your expenses consume all the revenues that you raise. One last question. We have seen an increase in the siting of fuel stations in residential areas. Do you also give permits to such businesses?
Honorable Chair, we do, but this is a very technical question, so my chief executive
not just
will take
the
up
fuel
this.
stations, but gas stations too. A lot of gas stations are being sited in residential areas.
Honorable Chair, I think our chief executive wants to take this up.
I'm told your chief executive is not here.
Executive, sorry.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. It's an observation the CEO and us have observed. And in the past, they did place a ban following the explosion on the siting of gas stations in residential areas. And some of these things we are seeing are actually some residences growing up into closer to filling stations. So we have taken serious steps to review some of these sightings, because yes, you can be permitted and then later your permit revoked because the conditions of operations now don't actually allow for the coexistence of your industry and residential settings, and these are being reviewed. That, having said that, we have actually decided to also spend more to increase our coverage, because some of these things are under the dark and they are without permits, and we have intensified our efforts to close many of them down. So yes, I do agree with you that some of them are wrongly cited, and we are on the trail to close many of them down.
Honorable Minister, you know, it is not the community going to catch up with, but these are new filling stations and new gas stations being constructed in the heart of very thick residential areas, and it's a bit scary. Do you have reps in all the districts?
Yeah. Okay.
Chair, let's admit that this is a very strong observation you have made, and it came up in one of our discussions when the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources was asked to have an oversight responsibility, and we had an engagement with them. This issue came up, and on record, we've seen a lot of filling stations springing up over the last 1.5 years. I mean, especially between 2023 to 2024, and some of the places where they are sited, honestly, are risk-prone areas. And so it's something that the minister is taking up, and to ensure that those that are supposed to be closed down are closed down to avoid any disaster that, you know, is likely to occur. And so we have taken on board your suggestion, and sooner or later, the ministry will be working with this agency to bring sanity to this area. Thank you.
And Honorable Minister, and I also think that you should look at your permits regime, because when you ask them, they tell you they have permits from EPA. And I ask myself, how were they able to acquire these permits when they are in the hearts of residential areas? So I'll plead with you to ask EPA to also go through the rightful process in giving out permits. Because if you go ahead and give me permits, and I invest so much in putting up a filling station or a gas station, and later you come back to revoke, then one may ask, what made you give it to me in the first place? So I'll ask that EPA also follows due process and make sure before they grant these permits, they do all the necessary checks. Thank you very much.
Well noted. And let me also use this opportunity to appeal to all of us Ghanaians to also be mindful of the fact that when these filling stations are sited at wrong places, the risk is on all of us. And we're also told somewhere along the line that there's always pressure on these officers from big men, I don't want to be specific, okay, who even threatens them. And at the end of the day, they are compelled, more or less under some duress, to, or let me say, under undue influence, to give out these licenses when indeed, if they were to do it on their own, they wouldn't do it. And so on behalf of the minister, I want to use this platform and on behalf of the agency to appeal to all those who want to do business in these areas to be mindful of the fact that if you use any undue process to get it, you are only posing a risk to all of us. And so when the officers are telling you that it is not possible to cite it here, please let's adhere to that. Because at the end of the day, it is not just the officers alone and you, the person who is pushing them alone, but the general public suffers it, and the country sometimes will lose money as a result of that. So we are making an appeal, especially to politicians. Because if you check the records of all those that have been cited over the years, many of them, we are behind them. I'm saying we because I'm a politician. And so we need to refrain from that. Thank you.
Chair, do a follow-up. Minister, we know we all have been traveling all over the world, and then if fuel stations are sited even in the communities which are in the age of technology, why won't people set in the age of this technology people we are using? Why not?
I mean, this is a question that we should have been asking you. What is the level of our technology in this country? It is the level of technology that will determine some of the decisions that we take. Yes, in developed economies where technology is high, they are able to take these decisions and cite these gases within their communities and they have no any problem. We can ask ourselves, how many times have we heard that fuel stations have exploded in these developed countries? And then come to ask ourselves here in Ghana, we have experienced it several times. So it takes time to get to where you are talking about, where we'll get to a point with a higher technology that we can cite these gases in our communities without a difficulty. But as it stands now, we need to tread cautiously and we need to ensure that we cite them at places where it won't pose a risk to us.
All right, the infraction is on paragraph 1418, and Honorable Elect Plame will take care of that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Management issues. No title deeds to landed properties. So we have 4 district assemblies: Atebubu, Akimodan, Elembele, Takwa. Can you tell us why till now these institutions have not been titled? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We are aware that Section 52 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016 Act 921 states